Peter Prisco,
yes.
We're getting toward the end of your power rankings. How are you feeling? Is it easier now?
It's kind of settled in. I mean, you're going to have changes every week because of the way teams lose at the top, but I think you've kind of settled into who's the elite of the elite in this league right now. And there's no true elite. There's a lot of good teams, right?
By the way,
go ahead.
When teams have been eliminated, like the four we just saw this week, do you just pack it in and then see the box score and then kind of maybe move them up one, down one?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, and look, those teams, you know where they are.
Yeah, we appreciate
Cancun,
that.
Bermuda, Cabo, they're long gone.
Some people don't deserve to go out of the country.
No, they don't.
Take a road trip somewhere.
They get stopped at the gate. Sir, please go back. You need to go exercise right now and get ready for next season. All right, so let's take a look at where the power rankings fall right now for Pete Prisco as we enter Week 16 in the NFL. The Broncos sitting on top, beating the Packers over the weekend. Of course, the Packers dealing with that horrific Micah Parsons injury. How will that impact them moving forward? Followed by the Rams, the 1 seed in that conference, and then the Seahawks, and then the Patriots still ahead of the Bills. The Bills did jump up, though, so let's dive into it. Broncos new number 1, Pete.
Yeah, and look, they've earned that right. You win 11 straight games, whatever way you're doing it. And by the way, I saw a thing the other day where their 11-game winning streak is the scoring margin in their 11-game winning streak is smaller than any other 11-game winning streak in the history of the league. So they're doing it by winning a lot of close games, and that's okay. I mean, Bo Nix showed out the other day. I got to give it to him, and I have had to see more, and I saw more the other day. He threw the ball down the field, which he hadn't been doing, and if they do that, they're a legitimate threat, obviously, to win the whole thing.
Yeah, and I mean, you just look at the way this team is constructed and the confidence that they're playing with. And when I talk about roster construction, they dominate the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. You're a good football team if you can have one of those units dominate. Literally, both of these units have been excellent. You talked about Bo Nix, better as the season went on last year, better as the season's gone on this year. The best is yet to come for Bo Nix and the Broncos.
They've had flaws on defense in recent games, though. That's something to keep an eye on going forward. The last couple games, the Packers had them at one point. I mean, they were moving the football, throwing the football, and it just didn't look like the same defense. So it'll be interesting to see how that defense comes back together again.
There's a lot of young quarterbacks right now that are about to be on the playoff. A lot of veterans that are not going to be there, though. But do you think the Broncos can be a Super Bowl contender? Can they make it all the way through?
Can they? Yes.
Will they? Different question.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
I'd probably say no right now. I still think there's a lot. They leave a lot for me to be desired in terms of throwing the ball consistently down the field. But he did it last week, and if he can do it again and stack games like that, then the answer to that question is yes.
He said it. The number of wins they have versus the amount of points they've won by in total for all those games speaks to the fact that they've been in close games the whole year, and eventually that kind of luck and close game stuff runs out. So if I was a betting man, I'd say it's tough to maintain that winning streak with that small margin of victory.
On the flip side, the Green Bay Packers, Pete Prisco's Super Bowl representative from the NFC. Pete, you sort of highlighted how 2 plays from this game can derail an entire season when it comes to Super Bowl aspirations.
I mean,
or one knee.
Yeah, well, not just one knee, because they lost the wide receiver,
yeah, several
too.
players, actually.
I mean, look, they were cruising, and at one point the Rams were losing, and we're sitting there saying they might be the 1 seed. Look at the way they're playing. They're dominating this Broncos team. And all of a sudden, he throws a shot down the field. It gets intercepted by Surtain. Christian Watson goes off. He's the big play threat in the passing game. And then they go down and score Denver. Next series, they go 3 and out. They get the ball back, and there goes Micah Parsons with a knee. And so all of a sudden, you look up, you lose Watson, who's the big play threat on offense. You lose Parsons, who's the guy that makes that whole defense go. You lose your right tackle, Zach Tom, who's their best offensive lineman. He might be back sooner rather than later, which is good news. And you lose Evan Williams, their best safety, because, McKinney was good last year. Williams has been better this year. And all of a sudden you look up, and this team suddenly is holding on for dear life to try and make it into the playoffs. And they have a big game this week against your Bears.
Yeah, huge game this week. And if you're a Packers fan, there's a lot of frustrations going into this week. Obviously, 2 of your stars on both sides of the ball you talked about. And that's what makes this team so explosive. With Micah Parsons, Jeff Hafley, the defensive coordinator, can align him anywhere on the football field and make me and the other 4 big guys at the line of scrimmage, those are the offensive linemen, have anxiety attacks the entire game. Without Micah Parsons, it's more of a vanilla rush package, less things to keep your eyes on. This Packers defense, obviously way less teeth without Micah.
And right now, if you look at this way this playoff picture is setting up, it probably comes down between the Lions and the Packers for the final, or one of those two.
Or Bears. It's all going to be connected.
The Lions have blown the Bears out.
Right. The loser of the South isn't getting in, I don't think.
Right.
So I think that's basically what it comes down to.
All right, let's continue. Let's continue here. The Broncos were your 1 seed. The Rams are your 2 seed right now, holding on to the 1 seed in the NFC. Devontae Adams did get injured. It's a hamstring injury. They're saying week to week. Doesn't look like he's probably going to play this week. How concerning is that for you?
Very. And look, he got hurt, and when he went down, the way he pulled up, it looked like it was going to be a lot more than a week. They can say week to week. That looked bad. I mean, he grabbed it, went down like, he got shot. And so bottom line is, I think when he's not on the field, it changes. Everything flips. Now you can really roll coverage to Puka Nacua, and there really isn't anybody else. They've used a lot of 3 tight end sets this year, and they're going to have to use more of that to kind of create getting guys open. Here's the thing. You could scheme your way to success in a lot of games, but eventually it comes down to players. And we've seen that play out with McVay over the course of his career. Remember, I go back, this is way back. They had a team that was putting up tons of points when they went to the Super Bowl and they played the Patriots. And the Patriots came out and they played that 6-man front and he out-schemed them. Well, they didn't have the players to counter that. And at some point, you got to have players. Not having Adams worries me, but more than that, they're not a fast team. This isn't a team that really scares you down the field. Now, you take that other receiver off the field and it loses the balance of the offense. That could be problematic for them. And the other thing I'm seeing with the Rams, their secondary's been giving up some big chunk plays lately. And I don't know, if you don't get the pass rush, those guys can get exposed on the back end.
Yeah, that's where it's going to come down to. If they are missing Devontae down the stretch here, obviously Puka's been fantastic, and they're using him in different ways. But to your point, that 3 tight end formation personnel, that is where Sean McVay is going to have to make hay offensively. And as far as the defensive side of the ball, those rush men that they've invested draft capital and a ton of money into, they're going to have to be leading from the front.
If we get to last week's number 1 team, the New England Patriots, they do move down 3 slots. You still have them in the top 5, Pete, but what was revealed to you in that loss in Foxborough against the Bills?
They haven't learned how to kill yet. You have
3 touchdowns.
Be an Iceman?
Yeah, if you're up 21-0 at home on a team that you can lock up that division, you have to put the kill shot in, and they didn't do it. And that's a lesson for a young team. You have to learn how to do that. Great teams know how to do that, and we see that over the course of history. Teams that are still learning the process and learning how to win, they don't know that yet. So it'll be a great learning experience for them. But more than that, it gives the Bills hope. It also puts them in a situation where we all thought, at least I did, looking at their schedule, that the playoffs would go through Foxborough. Well, that's not going to happen probably now. They have a tough game this week. It'll be interesting to see how they bounce back against the Ravens, because you got to get back up off of it after that disappointing second half.
I think that's so well said, and it was evidenced to me in Mike Vrabel's halftime conversation, up 3 scores, going into the tunnel, and they asked Coach Vrabel, what are your thoughts? And you can just see that minor fear in the back of his head. He said, number 17 is in that other locker room. I don't care what's going on around me. We know they're coming, and they did. To your point, the Patriots team, the guys with the helmets on, have to finish and figure out how to finish and win these games.
So we look on the other side with the Bills, who are back in the top 10. Guys, do we have that AFC playoff picture that we can show our viewers? And I want to get Kyle and Pete to take a good look at it once again, because I posed this question to you. There is a scenario, folks, where if you look at it right now, and Kyle, actually I have to start with you. If you look at what the playoff picture looks like as it stands, I don't see Lamar Jackson. I don't see Patrick Mahomes. I don't see Joe Burrow. Would you trust a Josh Allen-led Bills team to run the table, even with teams that are above them in the standings?
100%. It's all about who's got the biggest caliber weapon, and that number 17 is a 50 caliber weapon. And you saw it on full display against the Patriots at the end of the game and throughout the course of this season and time before then. Josh Allen is just bigger, better, faster than a lot of these defenses. And when it comes crunch time and things get boggled up schematically, put your head down, go get the yardage, go handle business. So, yeah, I trust the Bills.
They're the team that nobody will want to play. I mean, of all the teams in the playoffs in the AFC, they're the one you do not want to play because of him.
Yeah.
But more than that, in the second half of that game, they did a lot of things on defense, and they limited what the Patriots did offensively. Everybody else stepped up on that side of the ball, and I thought they had a really good plan in the second half. They kind of attacked them a little bit, blitzed them a little bit more, and they didn't handle it very well. So, but again, the biggest difference is Josh Allen. You don't want to play him in the playoffs.
Yeah, maybe the only one is not playing at the Texans in the playoffs, because Energy Stadium's been a bugaboo for Josh Allen and the Bills in recent years. Guys, certainly appreciate it. Check out Pete Prisco's entire